You're watching the SCAC Men's Basketball Media Days. It's day 2 coverage here as we take a look at the Southwestern University men's basketball program. The Pirates, of course, coming off a 10-15 season a year ago, 6-8 in SCAC play, as the Pirates will once again be led by head coach Janson, Hightower, and senior center Stan Kannegieter. We welcome in Coach and Stan. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us and welcome.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Coach, I'll begin with you going into your 5th season now at the head of the Southwestern men's program. What have you come to really enjoy about this time of year, preseason camp, the work that it requires, and what are you trying to establish early on in this portion of the season to sort of give yourself a foundation going into the year?
I think the best part about it is that we actually get back on the floor with our players. It's 7.5 long months between the end of the season. And unfortunately, ours ended a little bit earlier last year, not making the conference tournament. So 7.5 months to not be on the court with these young men is a long time. It's a lot of time to think and to work on what we want to do as a team. A lot of time for them to hopefully work on their game. Just getting back to work with them on the floor because they're a really great group of young guys that work really hard and really fun to be around. What we focused on this year, offense has never been a problem for us, so we're really focusing on defense. We've made some changes to what we were doing defensively this year, and so that's really given us a lot of energy. We're having a lot more fun with what we're doing on defense, and so that's been the biggest focus is defensively for us because we got to get better on that end, and we have a lot of depth, so we're trying to utilize that.
Stan, for you, entering your final camp there at Southwestern, the lone senior on this team, a unique position. What's your mindset going into this season, and how have you kind of seen your role evolve over the years, particularly in this leadership category, being the lone senior with this group?
As a senior, I try to set the example for the young kids, for the freshmen, that is on the court and also off the court, academically and on campus. Make the right decisions is very important. And then during practice, if the first year is doing something right, I try to tell them and compliment them because positive coaching will definitely help them, and creating a safe environment and positive environment will make them do great things, for sure.
Coach, as you look at this roster, a big group of juniors returning, 3 of which were named All-SCAC a season ago. I know you were excited about the steps that they were going to take last year as sophomores. You blend that with a group of 5 freshmen that you bring in. How do you kind of balance and what are the challenges you have of sort of putting those pieces of talent all together? And what have you seen early in camp that gives you confidence about this team going into the 18-19 season?
Yeah, we actually, Stan is a senior, and also Jake Holmes, this will be his last year to play because he was a transfer and he'll graduate. We'd love to have him for another year, but he's playing his last season. But all those juniors, a couple sophomores, and then the freshmen, it was a unique situation last year and going into this year that we only had the one senior in Ryan Ogden, and he got hurt and was lost for the season, our first conference game. So while that definitely hurt us and we hated it for Ryan, the same group that played those 13 conference games is now back. And so they got a lot of experience. So it's very unique in that, we got to work together all that part of the season with all that group returning. And so they have the experience to do a good job, know what they're supposed to do. And then we added, 5 first years, one's a walk-on. I think they all, have done a good job in practice on keeping up with what we're doing. You never want drill killers, and they've definitely done great at picking up what we're giving them. And so I think a couple of them will, hopefully earn some time and spot minutes. I think one of them, Kyle Persky, definitely has shown that he can play and is ready to play, but they have to continue to do it. And sometimes with first years, there's peaks and there's valleys. So we have a big group of returners that's helping them along and help them learn the landscape. And we're excited that, for this year for Stan and Jake to hopefully then finish their career on a really high note. So it's very unique that we have everybody back, and we're very hungry from last season.
Stan, you talked about, the importance of your role as one of the senior leaders on this team. As far as your growth on the court, that role has expanded as well from your first days there at Southwestern. A season ago as a junior, averaged nearly 10 minutes a night on the floor with career highs in points, field goal percentage, and field goals made per game. What have you continued to do with your game in terms of that growth? What did you prepare for in the offseason as you come into this senior year to try and continue to grow as a basketball player?
In the off season in summer, I've been going to the gym every other day to make sure that my body is ready for the season. And then I've been working on my jump shot and three-pointer to make sure that I can stretch the floor as a 5-man. And then before official practices, we've been working out with Coach Norcutt, and that has been really great. Even though we had 6 a.m. practices, we always competed and had fun, and that hasn't always been the case my freshman year. And I think thanks to Coach Hightower, who shaped the program the way it is right now. That's a very important thing.
Again, you're watching the SCAC Men's Basketball Media Days. It's day 2, and we're joined by the Southwestern University Men's Basketball Program head coach Janson Hightower, along with senior center Stan Kannegieter. And Coach, you talked about the offense never really being an issue. Looking at this team a season ago, you averaged 8.1 threes made per game at nearly 79 points a night. Both of those top 3 in the league. Speak to the way the offense flows with this team. What does this group do really well that gives you confidence on the offensive side of the ball heading into the year?
Yeah, we've really tried to simplify what we do. In December last year, we went to a dribble drive, really spread out and attack offense, trying to let the guys play a little bit so they can kind of take ownership of the offense, just with the keys being the spacing and then the movements on those drives and what we want to do. So that really opened things up for us. We have a bunch of guys that can shoot the ball. I mean, that's the biggest thing. And even the guys that maybe are average shooters, they're really good at attacking the rim, or they can catch the ball in the low post and score. So we have a really good balance. But I mean, shooting the 3 is really what opens everything up for us. But we really just want an attacking mentality on offense. I think we were, at the end of the regular season last year, we were 8th in the nation in free throw attempts, out of 400 plus D3 schools. Now we're 13th or 14th in makes, so we have to improve that free throw shooting. But that attacking mentality and getting kick-out threes and using our three-point shooting is what we want to do. We want the guys to play free. As a point guard that played for his dad in high school, you can't be playing looking over your shoulder. So we want them to play free. We have guys that going into this year have the green light to shoot whenever they feel that they're open, because we don't want them overthinking. So the more we can limit the thinking is better for us, and just have them play and think next play.
Stan, finally wrapping things up with you as you look ahead to the rest of this season, and you've had discussions with your team about goals for this group. What are some of those discussions like? What are the goals with this team, and how does this group get back into the SCAC tournament looking ahead to this year?
Our number 1 goal is to win the conference tournament. As Coach said before, last year we didn't really play with a senior because Ryan Ogden was hurt, and that should give us a lot of experience, and we should be ready to compete there at the tournament and win it.
And finally, Coach, wrapping things up with you, similar to what I asked Stan, kind of what are your expectations for this group, for the fans, for the people that support this Pirates men's basketball program? What can they expect to see night in, night out? What do you hope becomes kind of the characteristics of this group? Win or lose, regardless of the result, what can the people that support this team expect to see day in, day out with this group?
Well, I think firstly, everything needs to be put into perspective. I think we're probably the first team to ever not make the tournament at 6-8. We were 2 games out of second place. And we swept Centenary the regular season, who was in the championship game. So we're right there, first of all, with who we have and what we can do. Didn't lose anyone. But I think what we've been told about our guys and what our culture is, and from coaches in the SCAC and the ASC, that our guys play extremely hard and that they like each other, and that we get the most out of our players. I don't think anyone can say we don't, get the most out of our guys for what we have and what we have to work with. So I know people will see us play very aggressive, both offensively and defensively this year. It'll be an exciting way to play. It'll be exciting for our team, but it'll be exciting for people that are watching. And they're going to know that our guys left, everything out on the court. And so that's what we want. Win or lose, we do what we can control, which is our effort and our attitude. And then we just, we try to get better skill-wise, and learn from the wins and the losses as we go.
Southwestern University men's basketball program. The Pirates will open up the 2018-19 season as they host University of Texas Dallas on Monday, November 12th. Again, thanks so much to head coach Janson Hightower and senior center Stan Kannegieter. Coach Stan, thanks again and best of luck as you head into the rest of the year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.